I order a new
Are we back?
Wi-Fi for you.
Tisha, let me know. And someone let me know on here if we are back. If we're back on Bas's stuff. Tisha, are we back? I want to make sure you guys get your stream. Someone just joined, so hopefully we're back. Okay, if you just joined, hopefully we're back. We're having internet stuff. Back. Okay. All right, cool. Thanks, you guys. Okay, back. Batman back. I think you're back. Cool. Okay, let's come to the wall. Let's open up our chest. We did do these last Sunday also, but because of the neck question, this is actually really good and helpful for the neck. Thanks, you guys, for sticking in there. Remember, we want the shoulder down, not up by the ears. Shoulders are only up by the ears when we're fighting to protect our chin. So reach behind you. Pelvis is tucked. So I'm not hyperextended here. And let these pecs open. We got the internet back. Just reach as far as it feels comfortable. Cool. Okay, slowly bring that arm down. We will make that more active on the next round. And let's turn around and get the other side. So hips are along the wall, reaching back. Let's keep facing forward and let these pecs stretch. Sorry that my back is to you, but if I moved everything, that would take a while to move everything over there. Ooh, this side feels tighter on me, which is interesting because I'm right-handed, so I would expect potentially right side to feel tighter, but lefty feels pretty darn tight. And just take note of the differences between sides. They're almost always going to be there, so just notate it. Even if pain or something is only on one side, I always like to address both sides because I don't want the other side to feel left out. Oh man, lefty, what's going on, buddy? Tight. Okay. Now we are going to make this more active. We still good? Still good? I think we look still good. Batman. Batman always wins because you're Batman. That's a good answer. Okay, now we're going to make this more active. So same starting position, the arm behind you, and now let's pull the arm off of the wall, but it's along the wall, and let's make circles nice and slow, keeping that shoulder blade down. So we don't want the shoulder to come up towards the ear, keeping it down and making sure that this pelvis is tucked underneath you. Now let's reverse the direction. So you're stretching. I love to add a little bit of a dynamic component in there as well. You'll hear a lot of debate about static versus dynamic stretching, and from a lot of physical therapy types that I follow and learn from and try to get all of their knowledge, they do a combination. Okay, let's turn around and get the other side. So, and especially if you're going to exercise, I definitely like to put some dynamic movement in there. So reaching behind, first making sure that our body is aligned right, pelvis underneath us. Now bring the hand off the wall and add a circular movement. Ooh, this side is, wow. It's harder on this side because it's tight. Reverse direction. How are you all feeling? Okay. How's everybody's bodies feeling? Let's use our balls and come down our head, neck, and back quickly, and then we are going to use the wall again. I mentioned that I looked up some new stretches for you guys, and yay. Okay, cool. Bas doesn't look much like his old self. Is this sound weird, Batman? Dislocated right shoulder doing capoeira, that is cool. I had to switch the stance to southpaw because it hurts less. Now it's creeping to my neck a bit. Okay, cool. Okay, let's go down. We'll keep addressing that. Let's start here using the ground. Let's come down, go down our back. All right, thanks, Batman. You're awesome. Okay, so using the ground. Capoeira is cool. I wish I could do that. You have mad skills right there. That's all I have to say about that. Those are some cool skills because I love martial arts. I also love dancing. So to me, it's like a fusion of the two. And people that do capoeira are so strong and balanced and talented. So you're saying, holding the balls in place, Paul, saying no, all the way to end range, and I hold that end range for a second, and then come to center and nod your head, yes. Really pressing into there. It surprised me when I first started doing this because you're thinking, come down a little bit, or I was thinking, how can that possibly feel good? Like it's your skull, but it does feel good. I'm like, how can that? I don't know how that can actually do anything. But it actually can loosen up your top cervical vertebrae. Oh man, this spot is sore. And then if you find an end range spot, like right here, the end of my no, so then I'll add a little up and down movement here. So play around with any of the movement. Whatever feels good in your body or whatever direction you feel you need to release, use it. Now we're kind of down at the very top of our neck. And with neck pain and with the dislocation, muscles are they're going to react to that and do all kinds of crazy things. If you do have the opportunity to see a physical therapist, I would highly recommend it. And I love to go off of people's recommendations. So I would recommend talking to friends, family, whoever, come down a little bit to the bottom of the neck. Whoever may have experience with someone in your area, see who people have liked. That's how I prefer to choose people, and it's worked out very well. I actually made an appointment for myself for next Friday at a physical therapy place that is a recommendation from a friend. Okay, now come to the very top of the upper back, the thoracic spine. And here, as I like to support my head and neck because we don't want any pulling against gravity with our neck. And gently, I will kind of rotate, almost like I'm making a little mini snow angel. You can also do things like just move your arm in different directions. So there's all kinds of ways. Just get creative with the movement. Roll down a little bit, and each time I'm rolling down, I'm rolling down about the width of the balls to get the next segment. And Paul, don't untape yours, okay? Just go ahead and leave it, okay? That was actually really funny. That was good comedy. So now I'm doing like a one-armed snow angel, but still supporting. Unless my head is on the ground, I always like to support my head and neck because my neck is kind of weak. It's kind of a weak point in my body, so I will feel the strain. That's why you guys will see me sometimes too on the Wednesday crazy ones when when Bas is doing the low abs. I will sometimes have to put my head on the ground because I'll feel too much tension in my neck, and then I know if it's going from my core where it should be into my neck, that's not what we want. I would joke with my my friend that instructs Pilates, and when I do Pilates with her, we joke sometimes and just slowly move down your back. That my core is in my neck. It's not, shouldn't be, but my neck will try to take over, and I'm like, what the? Like, that's not right. And so you don't want to feel a lot of tension in your neck. So if you feel that happening whenever you're doing whatever sort of movement it is, either give your neck some support or drop your head down to the ground so that the neck is not completely tensed up. If you're trying to do something for the neck and strengthen it, like say the jiu-jitsu guys have asked or whatever, and Bas has talked about, that's totally different. But when we're trying to recover, and or it's something that's supposed to be for the abs and the neck is trying to act like it can do the job, not ideal. Ooh, I just got a little back adjustment. I love that. Come down. How far down feels good on your body can vary. Sometimes when you get to the bottom of the ribs, it doesn't feel good on people's low back anymore. If it doesn't feel good, don't push it. Don't keep going. It feels good for me, but if it doesn't feel good for you, don't keep going past where the ribs end. Okay, just get to the bottom there. All right, cool. Okay, so we are going to go into an adductor or inner thigh series because lots of you guys have asked about questions for high kicks and doing the splits, asked that for Bas. So I was like, let me look for some more stuff to get, because obviously another set of muscles that has to be very flexible to do high kicks or the splits are the inner thighs. Those are called the adductors. So I want to do a little test first. If you have some wall, come to the wall, try to get your butt right up against the wall. And if you don't, you can just do this without a wall. This position we've talked about, this is really good too. Just try to gently see how far, without adding any extra pressure or hand help, how far you can easily open your legs through. So what is your flexibility of your inner thighs and hips also here? And just try to take a note of that. So try to make a mental note of so this is where I am right now. Okay. So that's our first little test. Okay, for our adductor series, that, and that. Okay, three ones. And I found this little series from one of my favorite physical therapy people online. Puts out really, really good videos. I follow her on Instagram. Her name is Doc Jen Fit. And she's physical therapy, super mobile, super flexible, and her videos are just really, really good. So this is a series that she put out. Okay, so first we're going to be up in sort of our side lunge position. The knee, we want it's tight. We want it angled a little bit outside of the foot. Dude, this is really tight. Okay, so hold this here. So obviously stretching this right inner thigh. Support your body weight with your hands. Ankle flexibility might be an issue, and if it is, and you're up here, that's totally fine. You'll see my ankle is lifting a little bit, and you'll see when I get to the right ankle that my right ankle is a little more compromised than my left ankle. I have not released my subtalar joint yet this morning. Let's push over, we're going to use the hands on purpose first. Let's push over to the other side. We will try to do this later without the hands. Look at that ankle. I don't know if you guys can see the difference on there, but there's a significant difference between, make sure I'm visible in both, like these little spider crab crawls. This ankle is significantly up higher than the other side. And just notate that. Don't try to force it down and try to force it to be even. Just notate it like my ankle, it cannot get on the ground right now unless I were to come up here. So That just is where it is, and just make note of that. And this side, interestingly enough, feels much less tight than the right side. So also just notate those two. And when you're here, when we're in positions like this, pay attention to what your upper body's doing too. Is my back rounded and I'm caved in, or is my chest open and my shoulders back? Let's try to pay attention to that. Let's push back over to the other side quickly, but then if you do want to make it, especially, so this ankle is not all the way down, but it's not as high up as the right one is. Especially if we were going to do activity now, then I would recommend playing with having hands off the ground and pushing over from side to side. So now we're making it more dynamic. We're giving ourselves more of a challenge by not allowing the hand help, okay? So that's the first part of that series. The next part are adductor rocks. I'm going to come sideways to you so you can see what my pelvis is doing. So we're going to be in this similar position, but we're going to be rocking back. Actually, sorry, on the knee. I was like, wait, something feels not quite right. On the knee. Still want the chest open and the shoulders back. We want the back flat. So if your pelvis causes your back to hyperextend, we want a nice straight back. Hopefully you guys can see that difference there. Not a sway back, nice and straight. So try to kind of tuck your pelvis under, and then we're going to make this one a little dynamic. Only rock back as far as you can go with that pelvis staying tucked under. And we're still getting these adductors, these inner thighs. And we're still keeping our posture in our upper body nice and ideal, with the shoulders pulled back. Imagine another good visual is so the letters on my shirt, another good visual for what the upper body should be doing. We're going to come to the other side. You would always want the letters on your shirt to be able to be read. So if my shoulders round in, and I'm exaggerating it a little bit, but you can't really read the letters on the shirt anymore. So that's what I mean by chest open and shoulders back. Imagine you want to always be able to read the letters on your shirt. Other side, so check that pelvis first. Make sure we're not hyperextended. This is an anterior pelvic tilt. Tuck. If we had a tail, you guys know that's another one of my favorites because I'm a veterinarian too. If we had a tail, your tail is kind of tucked under. And then from here, gently rock back. So we're making it a little more dynamic. It's just hitting the adductor in a little bit of a different way. The foot can either be on the side of the foot or it's a little more active. You can feel muscles activate a little bit more if you're on the bottom of your foot. But keeping that back flat is hugely important. That was one of the things in her video that she definitely went over multiple times, keeping the back flat. Okay, so those are adductor rocks. And now, we probably all know, at least I used to do a lot, the butterfly stretch, where soles of the feet are together, pull the feet, and you know how Bas and I, Bas does one further out here. So that's one that we do a lot, and Bas is doing that for a very specific reason in that manner. But I used to okay, pull them, and now try to force down the knees as far as you can to the ground. So a variation on that one that she likes, and I've gotten to like it too, is having the feet away from you. Bring some energy through those feet. So I'm flexing the feet, pulling the toes back towards me. And then from here, getting the adductors in this fashion. And posture is tall, so chest is still nice and open. Now you can gently alternate pressing the elbows down and then also resisting as you're pressing the legs up against the arms. And that's that, several weeks ago I talked about, remember with the hamstrings, and I kind of used the wall, but It works way better if you have a band or a towel that you could pull your hamstrings against. That PNF is the acronym for it, where you get more stretch if you're, say if I have my two hands, if I have two opposing forces against the muscle that I'm trying to stretch, if I'm opposing it, so I'm pushing up with my legs while pushing down with my arms, then when you relax and try to stretch just the muscle that we're trying to stretch, you actually get more of a stretch out of it. I hope all that makes sense. That was kind of like a long-winded explanation. Oh, dude, sometimes I crack myself up. You know, I always think it's funny, and then release, and then do just a press down. Like, you know how it's been proven that women use more words per day than men? I'm all like, yeah, that's true. But sometimes when I explain things, I'm like, geez, you probably could have left out 50% of the words, right? Okay, now let's go back to the wall and let's see if we feel like we have any further range of motion. And there, and then we're going to stay at the wall a little bit and do a little bit of a wall butterfly. So, but we've got an hour, so might as well fill it up with a whole bunch of words, right? I mean, why not? Okay. So, I'm pretty sure this is a little bit wider than I was in the beginning. Obviously, that's not scientific because I didn't actually measure, but I feel like the distance to the wall was more like here. So not significant, but I think a little bit more. So that's kind of cool. When I like to do self-tests like that, I also love to do that with doing just like a body weight squat and then rolling a foot and then doing the squat and feeling the difference between feet. Oh, we said we were gonna do, okay, I do want to do a wall butterfly. So, and that's kind of cool because you can feel that connection with the ground on the foot that's been rolled versus the one that hasn't been rolled. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so now close to the wall again. Feet against the wall. Big toes, heels are touching. And have a little bit of pressure there. So I'm pressing, if I were holding a pencil between my feet, it wouldn't fall. So actually give a little bit of pressure. Let's press for 5 seconds and then release. Press for 5 seconds and release. Press for 5 seconds. Release. Again. Release. One more time. Nice. Okay. Here's another good one actually that I just thought about that I want to throw in. And this is an interesting thing. So my physical therapy journey, I have a client in New York that I talked to on Friday. She had just seen her physical therapist. A very common prescription, because a lot of us, our pelvis is off. A very common prescription is our pillow squeezes, but this can also be done with a fist. And I do this as part of my pelvis resetting every morning. Granted, sometimes I forget, but most mornings, if you have your knees at hip width, so I'm going to be at a 90 here. So I'm at tabletop with my feet against the wall. Bring your fists together, bring them between your knees, and a similar thing is what we just did with the feet. Squeeze, and release. I do this in a seated position with a whole series of, they're called muscle energies. But pillow squeezes, this is a really common, as I've seen various people's physical therapy prescriptions, pillow squeezes or fist squeezes. Very common to help as part of the realignment process for the pelvis. It's just super common with our everyday life and all the activities that we're doing for the pelvis to get a little uneven. And then of course, if there's unevenness in one of my main body parts, that's my core, then it's going to lead to lots of different things upstream the body, up to shoulder, neck, everything, and then downstream, down knees, ankles, etc. So these are good to just throw in wherever you can. And again, it doesn't have to be on the wall, it can be in a seated position. Those are, I usually see them called pillow squeezes, but since we're not all walking around with a pillow, it's very, very easy to just do them with this between. Okay, let's come into our 90-90 with the bear sit, which is always another good one for hips. Opening up those hips, which is also, of course, very important for our high kicks. Okay, so with our 90-90, I'm going to start differently. I tend to always start with left leg in front. Let's mix it up. I'm going to have righty in front at a 90-degree angle, and then lefty behind, also at a 90-degree angle. It's my goal in life to be able to just comfortably have this knee all the way on the ground. Like that's one of the things I want to figure out in physical therapy. Oh, I didn't finish telling you guys. Okay, and actually let's flex the feet a little bit so we're kind of making the feet to a 90-degree as well. I'm going to turn facing the front thigh and gently lean over, chest open so the words on my shirt can still be read. So I was talking with a friend who also, he owns a vegan cafe here. He's awesome. He's totally athletic, like triathlete, like runs all these miles, bikes all these miles, like insane athlete. And he has some stuff that we've tried to help figure out when we've done his training sessions. And another awesome trainer here too, works with him too, and we've tried to help him with. He has plantar fasciitis and a couple of other things, some hip pain and stuff like that. So he was telling me about a place that's not too far from our gym. Now I'm going to turn and face the rear thigh. My range of motion is definitely not as much here. And I believe it shouldn't be for most of us, but this one is stretching a little bit more of that rear leg hip capsule, which, hip capsule needs to be able to be stretched too if we want to get those high kicks up there and do the splits. So, and they're seeing patients because he had been there a few times. And it sounds like I love my physical therapist who has been completely life-changing for me. But I've also missed having my massages. But basically, there's all of these services in this one facility. So he's like the appointments are like approaching 2 hours long lots of times when he's there. He's like, he sees a physical therapist, and then someone works on him for a massage, and then they might put like those compression, I don't even know what they're called, compression things on the legs, and then they have some cryotherapy. So he's like, so many different things get done. Okay, now we're going to transition into that bear sit. Let me move a little bit. I'm going to move this way. So the transition that we want to happen, kind of coming up on the sides of our feet. Try to keep your chest upright. Coming up on our feet. Slowly open up. We're getting like little pops down here. Slowly opening up. Make this nice and slow. Sometimes we want these nice, slow transitions. My knees are uneven here. This one's a little bit lower than this one. And then slowly finish. And I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. I'm just pointing it out. Slowly finish. End up here. Okay, and let's make these legs 90. The foot, 90. some energy through the foot. So, because I've been, I actually had reached out to my physical therapist saying, like, I think I need to check in. I always have this like spot in my left low back that's like always there, and it's been for a long time, just like a spot of discomfort. And then the top of my right hamstring flares up and down. It's actually been doing very well lately, but like I want to know what's going on. So, but then, you know, this whole thing started and it was like, okay, you couldn't really do anything except just try to do as much as I can myself. So I called them because, again, I love recommendations from people, and it's always worked out very well for me. And I wanted to go. I was like, I want to go tomorrow, but they're quite booked, which I was like, good for you guys, you know. I'm seeing them on Friday, so I'm actually really excited. Oh man, and I could feel that left low back spot, and I'm also like super excited because you guys probably know by now how nerdy I am and how much I love to research stuff and read. Look at how high up this knee is. Lean towards the back leg. I'm like, this is going to be a fantastic learning opportunity that I can then hopefully use on all of my clients and people that have, you know, that might have similar pains. And yeah, I'm like, I hope they're prepared for like 5,000 questions. I'll be like with my phone. Can you say that into the microphone, please? Can you repeat what you just said? Yeah, this side I could totally feel, and I guess maybe that's why this knee is up higher. This, whatever goes on in this region, it's like so tight. And it's like, imagine if I didn't do like all the rolling and recovery that I do. Yeah, it would probably be really not good. Okay, we're gonna transition back. We're just gonna do that bear sit the other direction. Come up onto your feet, kind of towards the toes of your feet. Make this transition nice and slow. Hold this open position for a second. Okay, transition back. Oh, that was a struggle. Okay, let's come to a lying figure 4, and then let's do some knee hugs. Oh, and then, okay, we're going to talk about proper quad stretches too. Okay, lying figure 4. Let's come down to the ground, cross one ankle over one knee. And I like to, it's not wrong to reach through with your hands. It's definitely not wrong at all. But I like to use the leg pressing. So this left leg is pressing against my right to feel this really big stretch. I feel it in like the top of the hamstrings. We are stretching a muscle too called the piriformis that is deep to the glutes, so deep in your butt. Yeah, Paul, I can do it too. I can do the funny jokes too. And you know what, let's add in ankle circles with the leg that's pressing. Just a few ankle circles to get the ankles moving, and switch direction. And this, remember, this can be done seated as well. So if you're at work or sitting at a desk or whatever, and you want to throw in some stretches, this can totally be seated also. Now let's cross all the way over, and let's bring across our body. We're going to go both directions. Look the opposite way, and feel that spinal stretch. I could like do spinal stretch. Oh, that was a nice adjustment. I love it when that happens. You can tell I was really stoked about that. Okay, look back up carefully using some of your core too. Come around and come all the way around to the same side. Get the top leg now, where we've angled our legs towards the direction of the top leg. So I have my right leg on top, my legs are to the right. Now try to really elongate. Pull the knees down. Come see. So you're pulling your legs down to one side of the room, and you're pulling your head to the other side of the room. So try to make yourself as long as you can, and just feel that stretch. Like I can totally feel that left low back area opening up. Like it feels good, but it also, I can always tell that something is just not quite normal there. And that's what I'm really hoping to get to the bottom of that, and the glute hamstring tie-in on the right side. And I think it's interesting too that those are a diagonal pattern in my body. There's so many diagonals and cross patterns in our body. No muscle in our body goes straight up and down. It's all, there's so many diagonal movements. Okay, gently come back and let's flip the legs. I'm gonna come this way and make sure I'm still in both. Okay, so other way, figure 4. And have those shoulders on the ground so that you also know if your shoulders are not able to be on the ground, then that means pecs are probably really tight, and you need to do, or I'd recommend to do some more of the pec wall openers, door frame openers with your hands more like this on the door frame. That is totally valid and good too. Let's add some ankle circles here. And again, this leg is pressing to stretch piriformis, hamstring on the opposite side. Ankle circles. Apparently I couldn't ankle circle and explain that at the same time. Switch direction. I was like, oh wait, I stopped circling my ankle. Kind of like walking and chewing gum at the same time, huh? But yet I can talk your guys' ear off and use twice as many words as a man would. I like to crack myself up in case you guys can't tell. Okay, put this knee all the way on top and bring the legs to that side. Look the opposite direction. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to spin around a little bit. So I'm looking at you, but then I suppose I'm gonna, oh my goodness, that spot. It's like it feels good, but I can't wait to find out what it is and to fix it. Here's my lovely singing voice. I'm so glad the internet stayed connected for us. I was all like, no, internet. Okay, now look up, use your core so that nothing tweaks in the back. Bring the legs back up and across to the other side. Now pull the legs to the opposite end of room. Just want to make sure I'm visible for the Instagrammers. And pull the head. So if someone had a string like from your knee and your head, they would be pulling them the opposite direction. So make yourself as long as you can. Lengthening your body. You know what that just reminded me of for some reason? If you are not tired, jump with your knees to your chest 10 times. You will get tired. He's in, I don't know where he is. He's in one of the other rooms. I think he's doing a little workout. Okay, bring those knees back to center. Let's do lying knee hugs, always another personal favorite. Just bring one knee in, grab, I like to clasp my fingers or interlace my fingers below the knee and feel the stretch in that low back. Keeping head on the ground so that neck is nice and relaxed. You could also add in ankle circles here if you want to do extra ankle circles. Now switch the angle of that knee, angle it towards the same side shoulder. Do some breathing. Ooh, I forgot to have us do some breathing. I was going to do box breathing today. Still can do it. When we've discussed breathing a few times. Switch legs. First, bring the knee sort of straight back towards the head. If you want to add in ankle circles extra here, you totally can. One of the things I was reading this week, I forget who it was from, just talking about breathing again, and I love to read almost anything, was really drilling in how when you inhale, now angle the knee towards the shoulder, towards the same side shoulder. Your inhale is mostly stimulating your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight, which most of us spend enough time in that space because of how life is and all the stimulating stuff and lights everywhere and all the craziness in the world and the stress and blah, blah, blah. And your exhale is what is stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest. So a lot of us would benefit from spending more time in that sympathetic nervous system, rest and digest. So just going back to making, push up. I do like to, 54, I do like to help myself up. We've talked about that before too. Whether it's from getting out of bed or getting off the ground, pushing yourself up, it's less pressure on having, because at least my neck loves to lead everything. The neck's like, no, let me do it. I'll lift your whole body up. Yeah, little baby neck, that makes sense. Okay, let's talk about the proper quad stretch. Where was I? I'm all like, see, I talk so much I forget which topic I was on. So if you can incorporate long exhales into your daily life, it naturally will kind of tone down your nervous system, or especially if you're feeling stressed about something. There's all kinds of ways to incorporate deep breathing, but doing an inhale, maybe with the hold, that 4-7-8 breathing, and then a long exhale. Basically, the more you can make your exhales long, we get some really nice results on calming down our stress level. Okay, a good quad stretch. Again, focusing on the pelvis. So, I know we all know, we can come here. Lots of times, if people are here, we're not really stretching the quads. Like it's holding the foot up, but it's not really stretching the quad. So making sure that pelvis stays tucked. So the same thing when we were doing the adductor rocks, and same thing when we talk about a strong plank and good posture. Keep that pelvis tucked beneath you, and then lift the foot. Only as far as if it's here, that's totally fine. As long as your pelvis is staying tucked beneath you, you will feel more, as you bring your heel to your butt. But it's not about, especially if you're, when the gyms come back or whatever, it's not about, oh, I have to get my heel to my butt at whatever, here, okay, I'm doing a good quad stretch. And yeah, you'll feel a little bit of a quad stretch, but always try to pay attention to what your body's doing, specifically pelvis and shoulders. Like those are big ones that will do these crazy compensations and just not make the stretch ideal, for whatever we might be trying to stretch. And having been, before I started my physical therapy journey and had no idea that my pelvis was living in this position. This is how I would walk around. This is how I would do stuff. And shoulders living in this position where my hands were in front of me. So here, it's let's go to the other side, and then we're going to add some dynamic movement in it too. So that's why I get so crazy about it, because it ended up, with my poor posture, it ended up in my fingertips being numb. First it started at night, and it'll still happen at night sometimes. And I'm like, oh, okay, I must be extra tight. But it ended up being where they were numb all day long, and it was freaking horrible to not be able to feel your feet. It doesn't, like if someone would have said to me, oh, how bad do you think it is if you couldn't feel your fingertips? you know, when I thought I would be like, that's probably not that big of a deal. It was horrible. I was like, oh no, I've got to figure this out. Let's come back to the original side. And you can just make this dynamic now. Always paying attention to where your pelvis is. Grab, release, grab, give an extra squeeze, especially if you're going to get ready to move. Just add some dynamic movement. So same thing with the other side. Then we're going to come back to against the wall. This quad feels tighter. Righty quad feels tighter, and righty adductor was tighter. So just make this a little dynamic. It's 58. Okay, we're going to come against the wall. Although we did cut out, that's why I was like, why do I still have so much written down? Because we lost however many minutes. Let's come half kneeling against the wall. And this actually can also be on a couch. On a couch, this works really well too. That is a little bit low, but if I come to the wall, so half kneeling, one leg is going to be on the foot, the other is going to be against the wall. So this could be my foot on a couch. So either works. Again, pelvis, where's my pelvis position? And do a little experiment. If you do that anterior rotation where you kind of, you know, like stick your butt up in the air, or if we were a dog, we're wagging our tail. Feel the quad there, and then tuck your pelvis under. Dude, the thing lights up. You like how I abuse myself? I'm all, dude, like, whoa, it really works. And this side is significantly tighter than this side. So, again, this could be on the couch. And then a way to make this more dynamic is to press the foot against the wall or the foot down into the couch, and you feel press and release, like hold for a few seconds, 3 to 5 seconds, and release, and you can totally feel how that is like activating that quad. And of course, we're also getting hip flexor in here too. Oh man. Oh, I lost my Instagrammers. That was the end of that. Okay, windshield wiper this foot down, and let's come to the other side. Instagram cuts us off at an hour. And how close your knee is to the wall or not, that's totally variable. I'm not coming super close right now. Tuck the pelvis. Actually, I'm closer than I was on the other side. Let me come back out to make it even. Tuck the pelvis. Feel that quad stretch. And then press into the wall. Feel the quad activate and release. Press into the wall or couch. Feel the quad activate and release. So these can also be methods to use either before and, if you can, and after your workout. Even better to do some sort of stretching and or recovery, foam rolling. If you have a sauna and you can do some stuff in a sauna, even better after your workout as well is awesome. A couple more. Okay, windshield wiper that foot down. Okay. The last things I wanted to do was, okay, I want to show you guys quickly. So with your balls, Paul, it's so fun to call you out. We love to give him a hard time because, you know, we haven't seen him in months here. So if we can't give him a hard time in person, then at least we can do it over, you know, over the streaming. So he is one of our gym family here. So these guys, I wanted to remind you to use them on the shin. This is the shin. We did this weeks ago, but the shin is an area that, honestly, I tend to forget about and neglect as well. So I wanted to remind you about the shins, getting these guys on the shin. And I also wanted to show you that we can use these, I'm pretty sure I've shown you before, but that we could use these in the piriformis, which is deep to the glutes. And a way I like to do that is if we lay down on the ground, put them kind of right in the center of your glutes. So the leg that's on, that leg is going to be bent, and then the other leg is going to be straight. And then from there, just kind of press into them. You could also be sitting on something. You could also be sitting up, but different methods to get deep into that piriformis. One side, switch, just finishing up quickly. Other side, bend the knee of the glute that the balls are on. This can also be sitting here. With a foam roller, I tend to kind of do the figure 4 on a foam roller. It's a little bit easier on the foam roller. Still works with the balls, but you can either do the figure 4 or just get into the piriformis without the legs crossed. So I'm going to leave you guys with this. If anyone has any last comments, you guys, I will look quickly. You guys know that I do love to go through all the Facebook comments. The YouTube ones, they're just harder to go through. Like I was going to show one person to Bas yesterday on YouTube, and I don't know if you guys saw it. Someone kept writing really weird comments. So I was showing him, and then we went back, and he was like, where do you pull up the comments on YouTube to reply? And someone showed me once, I think it was Ronnie on here showed me once, but I couldn't remember. And then we were just kind of like, okay, you're welcome, Paul. You're welcome, Mr. Tiho. Let me know if you have, because you're a YouTuber. Are you on Instagram as well? You're welcome, Colleen, because I would love to try to help you a little bit more with the neck. If you have a way if you're on Facebook, let me know, because I'll try to help you more with the neck. Good vibes. You're welcome, Tommy. Yes, looking forward to next week as well, Paul. We'll see you guys tomorrow, right? Yeah, today's Sunday. Tomorrow for the workout. Yay, happy Sunday. You're welcome, Brian. Thank you all for joining. And our online family, love you guys. Bye.